purposes, practice those words. So if you have a hard time saying that word tke, I used to have a hard time saying kte, like that. Kte is the word for shall, kte, or to kill. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to make a point of that. So those of you that are at home, find out where, when you're learning the language, find out your weaknesses. And I imagine for most of us, the weaknesses will be in our gutturals. To be able to say aguyapi or wachpe, that's hard for some of us that didn't grow up saying those words. And so those of you that are just tuning in, listen to the school buses in the morning. When those school buses know how to talk Dakota, because when they go down the road, they go. That bus is saying burn, 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 burn. Who is burn? Right? So when that bus is going down, so practice making that sound as much as you can, because you're going to need that muscle to be used later on. If you have a hard time with those gutturals, one word that I practice worth beginning is the word for bumblebee, tuchmaga. That's a good one to practice to get your gutturals down. Tuch. Like one of our students talked about here, however you sound it, however it sounds to you, tuchmaga. That's the word for the bumblebee. My Kushi bee, her name was Beatrice, and so I used to Kushi tuchmaga. For a long time, I used to call her Kushi tuchmaga. Man, she just started laughing every time I do that. Her eyes go all small, laughing. And Kushi tuchmaga, Kushi bee. And so that one is a really good for practicing. Tuchmaga. Get really good at saying that one, and practice that one over and over again, over and over. Okay, I'm just gonna go through all these real fast. Okay, well, I always talk about orientation. So we'll keep continuing to go through these. We're gonna go through these, and then next class we'll keep going through them until I ask everybody, does everybody got it 100%? And then once I know we got it, we can't do tests or anything, but I just hope everybody's on board. If anybody's falling behind, maybe you can let us know, and then we can kind of catch you up maybe later on. Or if you know of a relative that's going to be watching in too, because we're here all winter long. So if you have a relative that needs to get caught up, share your notes with that person. Maybe you guys can even at home find a study partner if you can. Work with your elders, your kushi, your unka, when that you can, and the best you can, and we'll get you speaking in no time. Let's give ourselves 6 months to be fluent enough to sit with the elders and have a light conversation. Let's get to that point. So earlier I used we talked about henna for those, dena for these. Now here's another one. Hechia. It's an orientation word, right? Hechia. Way over there, or over there. And so you'll notice the correlation with he there again, right? He. That one was for like that. So you'll understand that that word he means it's not exactly close to you anymore. If you use the word de, now that's kind of a little bit more in your proximity, right? And so now if we wanted to say, so this is something that's kind of over there. Hechia bedekte. I'm going to go over there. Hechia. Hechia. You can write the CH. Some of you guys are hechia if you want to do hechia, like write it like that. I just writing like this just because I'm used to it. I'm not one of those language police. Oh, you're writing it wrong. I don't do that stuff. However you learn, as long as you're learning, keep going. Don't let anybody discourage you. Okay, hechia. So now we're going to go hechia. Kind of point over there a little bit. Hechia. Get your brain used to that idea. Hechia. Kind of like over there a little bit, right? Hechia. We can break down this word over here. Ya is something that goes that way, or something like Yeah, yeah. We talked about that last time. You can go like this. Go, come. Go, come. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, this is a different word. You'll hear that one. Good. Washte. Went good. Washte ya. Washte ya. Washte ya. So hechi ya. Hechi ya. Okay. Then the other one, now right here, right? Dechia. 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 Right here. Dechia. Hechia. So everybody can go, Hechia. Dechia. Hechia. Dechia. Just keep doing that over and over and over, repetition. They say it takes about, what, 60 or 70 times in us before we actually get it in our brain sometimes. That's okay. But you'll notice, as you're going along, the more words you learn, the more easier it is to memorize, because that word sounds like that word. You'll notice in the beginning, don't be discouraged, because it's going to take you forever just to learn one word. It's going to take you forever. But as you're going along, it's going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Yeah. All right. Hechia. Oh, here's one way over here. Let's add this one here. Remember how I said something that has like a very big impact? Ga. It's like really kind of hits you. So you could say gakia. We all gakia. I'm like, way the heck over here somewhere. Okay. All right. So these are what I like to call orientation words, right? So orientation words means here, there, over there, here, like this and that. These, you're telling people about what you're talking about, right? Like, I'm talking about these, I'm talking about over there, I'm talking about right here. You want people to know what you're talking about, where you're talking about. So you're orienting people into what you're trying to tell them. These words here are the first words you would use, let's say, if you walked into a Dakota camp and you didn't know anything, right? What are you going to want to tell them? This? You're going to want to say that? You're going to want to say these, those. Now, here's the other parts. Here's my favorite parts. These are the cornerstone of our language. The who, what, when, where, and whys, right? Who, what, when, where, and why. Who, what, when, where, and why. Oh. Okay. First of all, before I go into this, I want to show you guys something really cool. I broke down this word mitakuyepi. Me. All right. Mitakuyapi. Now, a lot of us people would say now, hey, relatives, relatives. We just tell that ourselves. My relatives, right? You can take this away. You can say takuyapi. Just for relatives, mitakuyapi, my relatives, right? So I'm going to show you guys something really. And this language is supposed to heal us, right? We're supposed to get healed from the language. The language is supposed to be powerful. It brings us understanding. Now, this word right here, taku. Taku could be a word for something, right? Taku. Taku, what's that? Or it's like something, matter. The word that I like to use is matter. Matter, taku. Or something, right? It's a thing. Taku. Taku, what's that? Or, like taku. And then when you use the word ya, it means something that goes about, right? Again, something that goes about. So we could say washte, good, washte ya. Goes good. It is good. It's going about good. Washte ya. So you can say in a way, that this means something that goes about. It's something matter. You know, when you're talking to somebody and they make you feel important, did you notice they make you feel like you matter to them? You matter, you're meaningful, you're there. I see you, right? So it just, I guess you could say that this word to me, and like I say, this is all interpretation. Somebody might say, that's a bunch of hogwash. That's crazy stuff. That doesn't make any sense at all. But this is, to my understanding, when we say relatives, it's the ones that matter to us. The ones that mean something to us. Mitakuyapi, right? Mitakuyapi. Somebody that's something to me. Somebody that matters to me, somebody that's really important to me. In other words, you exist. I see you. You're important to me. I just wanted to bring that up a little bit because I know we're going to talk about a language, but also to bring more meaning to these words instead of just hearing, oh, mitakipi, it's like, yeah, my relatives. Yeah. No, really what we're saying, to those of you that mean something to me, it's like a very powerful word, in my opinion. Mitakipi. It's not something we just throw around that word. So I just wanted to give an example of that before I forgot. So this is the big awakening that I had when I was learning Dakota, because I realized Dakota, you're speaking in code. And so let's take an example. And I'm just going to give you an example so you can go home and you could study these words on your own later on. And so we could take one word. Now, everybody use this word. Now, if you can go like this on your hand, everybody say on, and then say that. Now, train your mind that that's what that means, on, right? On. Okay. So now we'll do it in Dakota. Ah. Yeah. So even if you'll notice for the word for mold, ah, ah, because what's on top, right? Mold. Ah. Yeah. Nobody say mana. Don't say that. I was waiting for somebody to say mana. But So watch this. Now we're gonna put a word together. A long time ago, grandpas and grandmas, they never had bread. They had corn. They had Okan said they used to have like a tortilla style. It was the corn, and then they push it down on a rock, and it's like a tortilla, he said. But they never had bread. And then so all of a sudden we started getting bread. What are we gonna call it, right? Well, on top we have the word for on, right? On. Now the next word. What are they doing to the bread? Ru. Ru, or ru would be the word for burn. Ru. Ru. That's why I was saying those buses, when they're driving around the community, that's what they're saying. Burn, 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 burn. Ru. Say this to babies. You get them to say that word when they're babies. Little babies when they're born. They'll say that. Now, they're making it go burnt, right? Like there's people that are doing it, so we got to find a word for that. Ya. Aguya. Yeah. Yeah. So there's people that are doing it like that. A whole bunch of them. They're going about. Now, there's not just one person making this bread or making this burnt stuff on top. There's more than one. So we got to add that story next. It means more than one person. P. Here on this one, PB. Because we're not saying aguya P, it's aguya P. PB. Aguya P. So you could say this word on top, burn, it goes by 3 or 4 or more people. Aguya P. Aguya P. So let's, I'm just going to do a random one here. Let me see. Let's see if I can find a good example. I can't find one. Find one later. Okay. Okay. Here's a really important word for our community. This is a healing word. Every family should teach little kids this word. So important. And it talks about this on, right? Ah, ah. So Unkan taught me this word when I was a kid. He said, you gotta know this one. But he put wo in front of it. Anytime you hear wo, you better pay attention. Wo ashte, wo shicha, It's like wo ashte is good. Wo ashte is like goodness, right? Like that. We'll go into that topic a little bit later and discuss this word wo. And so if you can imagine this word here, ya, they're going, right? Ya, ya. So if you guys can see this, ah means something is on you, right? Ah. Now, can you imagine you're walking around like this? This could be a trauma, this could be a loss, this could be an anger, or it could be, but this is the word that we would use for mourning, when you're in mourning. Wo'aya. So when you see somebody that's sad and they have a heart broken, they're carrying troubles, they're worried. Oh no, so and so passed away. I'm worried. What are we gonna do about the bills? What are we gonna? Who's gonna teach Takoja this? And all the worries that come with grieving. That's why we call it aya, because literally you're carrying stuff on you, on top of you. Aya, wo aya. Yeah. To give you an example of this, if you're saying washte amaye, made put good on me, kind of like you could say it like that, right? Ah, ma, ya, right? It's kind of like you're putting it on you, amaya or amaye. We'll go into that in the future. But this for now, I think this word right here is so important for Dakota community to know that word. So if you see somebody walking around just kind of like, we'd say that's aya. They're carrying something. They should not be carrying whatever they're carrying, but they're carrying it around. That used to be anti-Dakota. Dakota don't want you to carry yesterday. You're still carrying yesterday. So the I wanted to some of the words that we have, they came from longer words, but eventually they got shortened over time. And so I was talking with some of the elders down south about the word ikche, which is the opposite of aya. Ikche. Sometimes now you'll hear people say, oh, it means common man. It's like, yeah, true, in a sense. But why is he common? What makes him common? What makes him ordinary? Why is he like that? So the origin of this word, iki. Last time we talked about, you'll notice whenever you hear this word it means inside, right? Imapuze. I'm thirsty, right? I'm dry inside. Ipuze. Ipuza. Puza is dry. So inside dry. So you'll notice a lot of times, or if you go to Sweat Lodge, they'll say ni, pi. Inside breathing, because when the Sweat Lodge, it's breathing, right? Those rocks are breathing. So inside, nipi, right? Inside. So if you take this word, iki, this right here, they just took the ki out and put the k there. Ik. It's shortened it down. Now, this is a kind of, some people would say these days is an appropriate word, but if you use the word che, it used to be considered a male organ, but the idea was it was a word for release. Now I'm going to trip you guys out and I'm going to show you guys something that you guys probably never ever realized all these years. Here's the word for cry. Che, ya. Release, away. Che, ya. Release, away. Right? Here, now look this one. Che, kia. This word here, kia, used to mean towards something. Kia. Kia. So when you're saying che, kia, you're saying release, toward. Release, toward. And so you'll notice other similarities. For a bucket, che, there is a release again. Ga. Ga. Now even the che, ba. Chepa. For gas, if you have gas, there used to be a spirit. They talked about it a long time ago. Her name was Unk, and it was the spirit of foulness. They say if you ever see her, you know, when you see somebody and maybe you don't like that person, everybody scrunches their noses up and they kind of like, oh, look at that person over there. Oh, look at how they, oh, you know. Whenever you see Unk, they say you get that feeling from her because she's negative. She represents the negative. You know, that we'll go into the story about that later on. Once the snow, man, I can't wait for the snow to fall. That way we can start telling these stories. And so here's the word for gas. When you have gas, unk che. Unk che. Same thing, right? You're releasing something. You're letting something go. Unk che. Can we think of another example with that word? I had a whole bunch, but I'm kind of having a little bit of a blank right now. Let me look at another one. Okay, we got chera. Yeah, I think that's enough examples, hey? Yeah. So when you look at this word with the words, now that you see this word che like that, you can say iki che. Iki che. Like this right here on this one. Instead of saying ik che, iki che. The insides are let go. That's the point where people are trying to get to at Inipi or Sundance. They're trying to release their ego, their selves like that. They're trying to release. And then when they do that, there's no ego inside, so they become what's called a common man or ordinary man. In other words, he's at peace. He's the opposite of ayah. He's no longer holding on to things anymore. He or she no longer carries problems from yesterday. They let everything go. They chekia and they chea. They let everything go whenever they can. And so it creates this world, ikche, meaning the insides are all, nothing is in the inside. You're nice and calm and relaxed on the inside, kind of like that. Any questions? Any thoughts? Opinions? Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. I'll give another example of how we can put these words together. Okay, let's start. One of the things that I think is really, really important is kinship. And so can we think of as many words as we can with this sound in there? We came up with this, talked about this yesterday, but this sound, she. So I know I'll get it started. I know we got kun, she. And I'm going to talk about this sound here, she, in a little bit. Kun, she, just by itself. Yeah. Ta, ha, she. Okay. Dekshi. I was gonna say, yeah. Pon, she, e, che, she. All right, cool. We're getting these. Uh, any more? Um, yeah, that's what I can think of right now at the moment. But so this sound right here, I'm gonna just simplify it. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. This she, it means that feeling. If I was to say, shh, okay, if I was to keep doing this, shh, and if you go out in the woods, a little baby, how does that make you feel? Calm, relaxed. So that's what this word means. It means calm, relax. What else? All kinds of stuff, right? Peace. This is why Dakota would say one word can mean so much, right? You could take one word and it could mean so many things. Even just that word, shh, it means so much, right? And so, do you guys, when we say this E, it's inside again. E. You put these two sounds together, it creates a feeling of peace inside. A feeling of peace within inside you. So you'll hear tunka shida. That she again there is a place of peace. Even, and we talked about the word fat. Washi. Well, how does fat make us feel? There's a reason why we like the Romana's pizza so much. It's comforting, right? So you could even say that this word right here is the word for comfort. Yeah. And so the root word for this, a long time ago, there was a spirit by the name of Shkan. And so really that's who we're looking for, is a spirit by the name of Shkan. And we all answer to this name. Because if you were to go outside and I was to go, everybody will go, oh, that's not your name? Why'd you look? That's our name. That's who we are. What's a part of who we are? Shkan. We're a part of this spirit right here, Shkan, because we breathe, we move, our interactions. It's all so important. It's a sound of nature. It's a sound that connects us to nature. Very, very beautiful word. And this is the sound that we connect to in our sweat lodge. That's the healer in our community. That's the healer. Yes. The womb. That's exactly it. The womb is the first place where you get that sound. Very, very. So this is, I guess you could say that this is our origin, where we came from. We came from that sound. And that sound is where we return to, they say, when we go into the sky, shkan. You go into the sky, shkan, the sky, and then you become a part of all those become a part of it. Yeah. Any questions, answers, opinions? Yeah. Right. And so yesterday I broke this word down, tunkashida. I'm going to do that really, really fast, and then we'll move on. All right. This word right here again, tun. This tun. You notice we're not saying tu, tu. It's tun. So there's a little bit of a D in there. Tun. Tun. And here's that word for, this is the word for like energy. Otueta, town, right? Wachbetun, sisitun, ihaktun. That word tun is all over the place. It means energy. So a lot of times when they say it, when they used, I remember somebody's first interpretation of when they said the wachbetun. They would say energy in the leaves. Wachbetun. Wachbetun. Energy in the leaves. Or life in the leaves, if you want to look at it that, because life is energy, you know. That's the same thing. Tu. Now, ka. You guys hear it? Ka. 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 Ka hominy. Ka hominy. Washte ka. Something that has an impact, hey? Something that hits you. Ka. Earlier, we used that word gaksa, right? Something that hit. Ka. And then it's split. Gaksa. Tunka. So you can say an energy that impacts you. Tunka. Tunka. Our Lakota brothers to the south, they call Grandpa Kaka. Kaka. Here we don't say that, but down south they'll say that. But actually, we'd say there's Hunk Papa in Sioux Valley. Maybe some families still say that. Kaka. Tunka. That story behind that, they said Sitting Bull's dropping off family members all over the place. Hey, some of them stayed here too. Tunka. And then now here's that sound. Shh. Tunka. Shh. It's an energy that strikes you in a very calm way. Hey? Tunka. Shh. And then what does E? The I rep E? E inside. Hey? Tunka. Shh. E. E. And then whenever you hear this da at the end of something, it's your opinion. If you think something, hopefully, how you guys are going to say, how did language class go today? Oh, steda. Oh, steda. So it's kind of like an opinion, right? A statement. So it's the energy that strikes you in a compassionate way within, is what I think. Tunkashida. Yeah. I just wanted to give a recap on this because this was a game changer for me in my life. I was like, wow, that's what it means. I thought it meant grandpa. And then those old people say the Tunkashida are not human. They're not human. They're spiritual beings. They're not human. So they're Tunkashi. And so, well, how do you know where to find them? You hear them in the trees. Shh. You hear them in the water. Shh. You hear it in the sweat lodge. Shh. You hear it in the mother's love for their baby. Shh. It's all over. The Tunkashida are all over the place. You hear them through people. You hear them through children. You hear them all over the place. Okay. All right. So here we go. We covered our word for daku earlier. It means something or hetaku. That's a real simple sentence too. Hetaku. What's that? We'll use that word he. That's the first word we learned for that. Hetaku. Hetaku. What's that? Well, we didn't put the question mark at the end here, but we'll talk about that later. We'll just keep it simple for now. Hetaku. Later on, you're going to have to put a he at the end of those question marks. He. Hetaku. He. But for now, we're just going to put hetaku. So that's the what. Jace, taku. Right away. What? Answer the phone. Taku. Yeah. Or that other word, yachin, we heard here. Taku yachin. What do you want? Don't even say hello. Taku yachin right away as soon as you answer the phone. Okay. Now this word here. Due. Who? Hetue. Hetue, huh? Every time we see somebody from another res right away, that's what we have to say. Hetue. Hetue. Just a side note here. I want to tell you guys something. I remember my grandpa teaching when I was learning Dakota. I asked, "How do you say who are you? Who are you?" Right? And he said, when I read it, it was like this. And I wanted to say, "Ni due he," like that. I wanted to say it all like that, but he put it into one word. Ni due he. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Geez, good thing you're around." Ni due he. I thought I would have said "ni due," right? It makes sense if you say it like that. It seems, but he said no, "ni due," "ni due." But I can't hear you guys. You notice we're not saying taku, nor are we saying tue. We're saying due. So it's a TD. Due. Due. Who? What? Go on. TD again. When? Dohan ioptik tahe. When are we going to start? Dohan ioptik tahe. When are we going to start? Dohan. Dohan yaukta. When are you going to come? Dohan. Dohan. I like to roam around, guys. Hope you guys don't mind that. Pacing around. Dohan. So we have what? Taku. Due. Dohan. How? There's the other one. Hey, how? How does that work? Doked. You'll hear some of the families in Sioux Valley here, perhaps. Doken. Did you guys ever hear that? Birdtail, maybe? Doken yao, huh? Still here. Still here? Yeah. Doken yao, huh? There's a band of Dakota. They mix Nakota and Dakota mixed in there. Yeah. Doken yao, huh? Maybe in Chanupawakpa, a lot more families might say it there too, hey? Maybe? I don't know. All depends on which Bedewakantu, Isanti, which one they come from. Doked. If you're Lakota, you'll say Dokel. Dokel. Dokel yawa. My favorite is Dokacha. Everything. Dokacha, Dokacha, Dokacha. Why? Jace, you got to get up in the morning. Dokacha. How come? Why? So we have what, who, when, where. Tokia. Tokia is the other one. Hey. Tokia dekta. Where are you going? Tokia. Why? How? When? Who? And why? Tokia. Tokia dekta. Where are you going? Tokia. 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 You'll notice a lot of these ones, you'll notice a correlation with this one here, do. Look into that. Why is it like that? You're going to notice that. Those little characteristics. Ask yourself those questions when you're learning the language. What's do mean? And then just kind of get curious about all those things. What does ga mean? What does sa mean? What does se mean? They all mean something. Once you put it together, you're gonna find out stuff. Kind of like kia means towards, and then this is kind of like where towards, I guess you could say. I don't know. We can figure that out. Tokia. Tokia. So important for the kids. Hey, this is what the kids should know, right? Yeah. Once don't ever teach them tokacha though. Holy man, you get every 10 seconds. Tokacha, 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 tokacha. Yeah. He toka cha, how come it's like that? You know, he toka cha, how come it's like that? De toka cha, how come it's like this? De toka cha. By the way, there's another thing that I've noticed. There's some of our language speakers in our community, when you're asking a question, at the end they'll put he like that, but then some write it like this. I've been noticing. Heh. I've been noticing that too. I looked in here, I couldn't find that heh version. But Sioux Valley, it's very characteristic to Sioux Valley. Yeah. Yokta, heh. It's a little different. Yeah. Yeah. Heh. Yeah. 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 And so those that are listening, if I'm not acknowledging how you're saying it or how your unka said it, just let us know. We'll acknowledge that too. Because everybody needs to be acknowledged, right? Everybody. I think that's why we get hurt, because my grandpa taught me this, and you should acknowledge how he said it. Yes. Let's honor that. Let's acknowledge that. And actually, let's encourage that, because if we find out that, geez, we might have a Oglala here, just based upon how he talks, there's Oglala influence. Like I said, the old grandpas, if you listen to them talking, you'll be able to trace them back to Minnesota, to which tribe they came from. Because the Pt.2, Pt.2, Sisituan, Bedewak Hantu, all of them. So again, we do these little chunks here. I don't like to throw all the information all out right there and say, there, next one, next one, next one. We got all winter long. So we're going to take these step at a time. Maybe from here on out, we can take a break, and then we'll go right back to the beginning and go through it all over again, what we learned today. That way it really starts to sink in. Yeah, yeah. But the next word that I really want us to practice and get to know is, and then I'll look it up on what it says in here. This word right here, oh my gosh, the word of all words in Dakota. That's the word we're gonna have to understand. Doke ya daya ya oh, hena, like umpi. It's the word to be. But we'll talk about this word next, coming up here in a little bit. Very, very important word. Yeah. Okay. Not but right? You gotta get the nasal in there. You'll see the difference. Ooh, mm, ooh, mm. Two different sounds right there. Yeah. Okay. Take a little break. Yeah. Yeah. Ready? We're online. Hey, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna I'll just give a little bit of topic talk on this because this is gonna be we'll see this word all over the place, and of course when most languages classes we've all learned that doked how doked the word for you in this situation is doing, like your actions. Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Ya, wa, right? We'll talk about that later. So in this situation, it's your actions or your behaviors or how you're going about. Doked ya, doked ya, So how you be, how you be. How's how this doesn't necessarily mean you. It's like how's your actions or how's your daily going about? Like you're moving about. How is it? By the way, if you really, I'm gonna tell you guys something. You know how people when you go past the store, "Tokayo, watch there, Tokayo, watch there." Like, that's all. You don't even answer. That's like as if you really care. You do, but if you really do care, you'll notice Dakota will repeat themselves certain times when it's really important. So doked ked. Yeah, that's a if somebody says that, you better actually tell them how you're doing for real. Doked ked. Yeah. Ooh. Right? So here, but I just wanted to give an example for this word because we've heard this sentence how many times? Doked ya. Most of us know this one now. And so I'm not sharing that to learn this, but that word is so important. It's the word to be, but it's also homina. It also means us. So waunchipi, we're dancing, uh. So I just wanted to give an example. Pay attention to that. If you can, get time to study that word in here. If you can, study that word, and you'll realize that we're going to be using that one so much because we're always talking about the different states of different people, how they're doing. Dayang umpi, right? Dayang umpi. They're well. They're doing well. Dayang umpi do. They're well. Dayang umpi yeah. For the ladies, dayang umpi yeah. They're well. Dayang umpi yeah. They are well. They are being well. Yeah. So I just wanted to, we'll just touch on that. And that's what our next class will go into a little bit further and maybe come up with as much as examples on that word in our next class. This will be a big topic. The topic of next class. Next time we come together on Monday. Yeah. Make sure everybody comes. The more the merrier. We're all in here. And it's a good energy when there's a whole bunch of us. Okay, time to recap. The reason why we recap because you're going to notice repetition, repetitive, over and over and over. That's what we need. It's going to seem, and eventually, after a while, I'm gonna ask you guys in the room, do we have this now? Has everybody got it? Or are we going to need to move on? If one person says 4 more times, we'll slow that down for that person, right? Until we're all on the same page. We're all ready to go. So today we started off with this understanding that English and Dakota are the same in the terms of spect. Let's look at the word respect. Respect, the word respect. It means to do it twice, like reorganize. You got to do it twice, or reinvent. To reinvent yourself, you're going to do something, redo it, right? And then the word to see in language, in the English language, is spect. So if you take re and spect, to see it twice. So that's the style that we use to learn Dakota. And it's good that we're repeating because I'm sure somebody might have tuned in halfway through the class here today. And so we're taking this word ksa. Ksa means to separate, to divide. Ksa. And there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. The first one is to shoot it, so we use bow. And it makes sense. You know, sometimes you can do little tricks like that. Think of like a bow, right? A bow is used to shoot. So just put that in your mind to remember later on, a bow shoots something, right? So if you say boksa, it means it's shot or punched. You punch it and then it divided it, separated it for you. Boksa. Here's naksa. I'll show you guys with your foot. You separate it with your foot. Naksa. Naksa. Na. So na is foot. Na 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 na. Naksa. Naksa. Ba. Ba. Think of this. Like this. Go ba 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 ba. Sawing, hey? Baksa. Or you're using a knife. Sawing action, and then you turn it in and you separate it by splitting it in half, separating it by sawing it. Baksa. And then now you go outside and you hear that. Somebody chopping wood and they're hitting it real hard. Gah! Gaksa! And then split it. Gaksa. That hitting sound. Hey, gah! Gah! Gaksa. Gah. The word, I remember one of the words somebody told omakiaka. Again, omakiaka. Like kind of something that hits you sometimes too. Hey, impact. Okay. You ksa, any old way. You, it'd be word for like any. Consider Kushi separating the corn with her hands. Corn is taking the corn husks off, kind of thing. Yuksa. And then she's saying, "Hey, I can't get it. Oh, it's this part stuck." She uses her mouth. Now it's yaksa. Yaksa. She used her mouth. Yaksa. So that would be the word for bite too. Yaksa. Bite. And then if we just remember that what we had said, if we just want to say more than one person is doing this, and then we just add the pi to the end of those sentences. Yaksapi. Gaksapi. There's more than 2 people doing that now. Yuksapi, Yaksapi, Gaksapi, Baksapi, Naksapi. And Woksa, knowledge. Knowledge. Woksa. Woksa. Right. And then just to give a little bit of that update or that reminder on that word you, it's causation word, right? You washed it, makes good. Made it good. You washed it, whoa, make it good. It's for ladies, all you have to do is put a yeah in front of that. Now it turns into a command. You washed it. Or a man would say, whoa. If you're talking to one person, you washed it, yeah. You washed it, whoa. Whoa. And then we had the word white, ska, use ska, make it white, or that's the word they use for clean it. Clean it up. Use ska. And then from here we went into the this and that. So you put something in front of you, and then we put this, de, 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 this, de. Dewashte, this is good. Deshicha, this is no good. Sometimes even like I just even something simple when traveling with Uncan down the road. I said, "Where am I supposed to go?" He'd just say, "De, here." That's all he used to say sometimes. De, this one. I even used to hear him say "heh" a lot. Heh. That's all he'd say. Heh. That. Heh. So that's the word for that. Heh. So de is closer to you for this, and he is something a little bit over that, a little bit further. He. Dena. So you have two things in front of you. It becomes dena. These. Dena. Dena wa shtemena. These smell good. Dena. Henna. Those. By the way, this could represent people too. Henna wa shtepi. They're good. Henna wa chiapido. They went to the power. Henna. So de, he, dena, henna. Just remember those. Get those down really good. Now we'll be able to put some kind of like a noun or something behind those, and then you'll be able to talk about different stuff. But remember, these are the words that you use when you don't know what to call them, right? You don't know what to call something. Hey, Maku, give me that. Yeah. Until you figure out what to call it in Dakota, then you could use the actual name. All right. And so earlier I gave just an example of the origins of some of our words. So we think hayetu and ampetu, these are words that are by themselves, but they actually have origins. Ha and ump are spiritual beings. Ha and ump, two spiritual beings. And then that's where we get the word hayetu and ampetu. Ampetu. When you go into the sweat lodge, you'll see these two spirits. Ha, the darkness. Ha, and there's another spirit in the sweat lodge, ump, the glowing red rocks. It doesn't mean daylight or anything, but it's like a glowing reddish kind of a color. Ump, ump, ump. You can spell it different too, the way I hear it. You hear it like that too. That's why I say tomato, tomato, right? You can different for everybody. Ump, umpetu. And then this word right here, the only reason why I brought this word is just to practice this one. Like I said earlier, practice the most hardest words. Practice the most difficult words to say. And here's one of the most difficult words to practice your gutturals. Tuch maga. Tuch maga. Say that 1,000 times over and over and over. Tuch maga, tuch maga, tuch maga, tuch maga, tuch maga, tuch maga. B. Tuch maga. Tuch maga kinde. This the B. Tuch maga kinde. All right. The other one's dechia. Here. Dechia. 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 The other one's over there. Hechia. Dechia. Hechia. Dechia. Those of you that know that Dakota whole time, some of our old songs, Dechia. Dechia. That's where I learned a lot of language. Dechia. Natan. Natampi. They're charging. Natan. Dechia Natan. Dechia. That one. So some of you that might know those songs, that's where you'll hear that word dechia. Yeah. Dechia. Bah. And then all the other one. Kakia. Where is it? Kakia, just right there. I remember the old grandpas and them, they had jokes back there. I remember one uncle said, "And Hana 2 days ago." That's not a Hana. And Jesus, it's always fun to listen to the grandpas. Miss the grandpas. So Gakia, Echia, Dechia, Gakia. I have, like I said earlier before, I have my own take on these words. Mitakuyepi. I don't just say relatives. It means those that matter to you. Those that matter to you, and that's really if you treat your family like they really matter, you heal your family in no time. But if you make it like they don't mean anything to you or they don't matter much to you, you ignore them all the time, kind of thing. That's not what we say being a good relative. How do you be a good relative is you make somebody feel like they're important, like they matter to you, right? So daku yapi, you could say if you said it like that, but we're not going to say it like that. It's daku yapi. Ni daku yapi. Daku yapi. Daku yapi. And here's my example for the word on. We talked about the word aya. Here's a word for on. Akan. Akan, right? Maka akan mawani. I walk on the land. I walk on the earth. Maka akan mawani. So you hear that word there again. So like machpia, cloud. Amachpia, cloudy, right? On is that word changes it right there again. And like that good example is the word guyapi. On top it's burnt. On top it's burnt. And they made it go that way. Yapi. Yapi. Pi means more than two people, right? Yapi. They made it go that way. Aguyapi. Aguyapi. Washte amaye. That's how I remember sometimes I said, Grandpa, how do you say, when you say doke yaunhe, I don't want to just say washte. How could I say anything? Washte amaye. I am well, it's like, see, it's like I got goodness on me, I go, right? Washte, it's good. On me go. On me go. Washte on me go. Amae. Chea. Chea mae. Made me cry. Put tears on me. Put crying on me or something like that. Yeah. And so this is how we don't want to be this way in our way of life. Wo aya, that's anti-Dakota, right? Every day, grandpas used to wake up in the morning, grandmas, and they greet the sun. And then when the sun goes down, they let the sun go down. And the idea was whatever goes down, that sun, you let that go. So one of you guys can slap me in the face real hard like that. And then that night, I go to the sun, I let it go. You see me next day like it didn't even do anything to me. Yeah. That's why they say it's hard to be Dakota. It's really difficult. That's why you say Dakodwi chocha otechike. That's what they say that. It's hard because you just want to be, but you can't. Let it go. Let it go. Otherwise, your grandpa would say wo aya. It's called, you'll be wo aya. You'll be like that. And so the opposite of wo aya is that ikche. So that's why I say ikche vichashta. He only ikche vichashta. They're only mad for a certain time. The philosophy that they have, the ikche, is they're always letting things go, just like the animals do that. If you ride a horse, the horse will go right into the pasture. After you take the saddle off, the horse will go into the grass, into the dirt, and shake all that off. All that ayah is coming off. Yeah. That stuff, he carried your burdens on his back, carried your energy, carried you for a time. Now he let it go. And so the horses teach us that the best way to live is ikche, where there's nothing, you're not holding on to anything, you're not carrying anything. They say it takes a year to get to this level after somebody passes away in your family. It takes a year to get back to ikche. But the old people, they do practices by giving away everything. They try to give away everything. Here's an example of how inside, ipuza. Puza is dry, right? That's how you say I'm thirsty. Ima puze. I am thirsty. Ima puze. Ima puze. Ini puza. Are you? Oh. You just made it for the last 5 minutes. You can come in for the last 5 minutes if you want. Yeah, sign in and then you'll make it for the next one on Monday. I'll come pick you up. 45 minutes you got, or 15 minutes you got. Another example is inipi. They're inside, they're breathing. Here's that word che. We talked about the word che, cheya, chekia. You'll notice those words are release words. Chega, chepa, che. Let go. Dakota philosophy is let go. That's the philosophy. Why are they like that? Because the river, the water, the land, that's the land. That's the direction of the land. The land teaches you to always let go of yesterday. And if you don't, then you'll be aya. You'll get sick. Get sick. So, any questions? All right. Okay. And then we notice the correlation with that sound sh, e, e, inside compassion. Ku, she, dek, she, ta, she, iche, she, wa, she, wa, she. All comfort words, hey? You'll notice that correlation. They all have comfort associated with it. Oh man, pig is the best. Yeah. Kukushi, yeah. Pig. You ever have pig soup? Yeah. Just think bacon, right? Yeah. Everybody, if you give, I know for me, when I wake up in the morning and I smell bacon, I'm like, oh, I'm already calmed down. I got bacon coming. Yeah, but that's a good exit. That's a really good. Let's go inside this book and find more more of those words with that she in there. And let's put all that together. So yeah, so you'll notice all these tahashi, dekshi, shishi, ishida, icheshi, all words of comfort. So this gives an idea what the role of a family member is. Your whole job is to bring comfort to your people, to be a good relative. That's what If you bring comfort to your people, you're a good relative. And so Kunshis would do that in a few ways. When the moment they see you, are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Are you sheltered? Are you cold? Are you all of those? Did you need a blanket? All of those: food, water, clothing, and shelter. That's the first thing Kushi would give you before anything. She'd make sure you're okay. No point in sitting there talking to you when you're hungry. It's no point because you're not comfortable yet. So she'll feed you first, water you first, then she'll talk to you. That's old teachings, way back. And you go back, think of your kushis, you'll remember those. Yeah. What their role was to bring that comfort. Yeah, comfort to the community. And the warriors did the same thing, but their job was to remove the things that destroy your peace. The enemies, or maybe there's a wild buffalo in the trees somewhere, and go get rid of it. All right. And then the last part we worked on is the who, what, when, where, and whys. Who, what? Oh yeah, and we talked about Tunkashida. The energy that strikes you in a compassionate way within is what you think. Tun, ka, sh, I, da, washte, da. And so when the what? What's that? Hetaku. We talked about that. Remember the TD? It's not hetaku, 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 hetaku. Due? Who? Hetue, hetue. If you go see the Lakota, sometimes you hetua, hetua, you hear, or they'll say hetuajo, jo, at the end. Hetuajo. And then tohan, tohan yaukte. When are you coming? Tohan, tohan. Tohan ioptikta. When are we going to start? Tohan. Doked. How? Doked. Ya. How you be? Doked. Ya. How you be? How you be? Dayan. Wa. Well, me be. Well, me be. Gotta learn how to talk like that. Well, me be. It doesn't make sense in English, but that's how it is in Dakota. That's actually why most of those English speakers are having a hard time, because you're trying to add too many words there. But Dakota is real simple. It speaks in codes, right? So, Dayan, well, wa, me, be, Dayan wa, well, me be. All right. And then, how come you're well? Dokacha, how come you're well? Dokacha. Why? Why are you well? Because I don't eat sugar. I don't know. Because I go to sweat lodge all the time. That's why I'm well. Dokacha. Dokacha. And then the other one is the where? Tokia. Tokia Dekta. Tokia Dekta. Where are you going? Tokia. There's a song you can learn with this one. It's a love song. Tokia Amayada Hai. Tokia Amayada Hai. Tokia Amayada. Where are you taking me? Or where are we going with this kind of thing? Tokia Amayada. As a woman, all these guys keep trying to stag her. So she always saying, where are you taking me with this? Or where are you going with this? Tokia Amayada. Yeah. So we learned all those: who, what, where's, and whys. And then this is where we'll go into next time, tomorrow. That's think of all the different ways we can use that word and how important that word is. Dokediaun. Daya waun. How am I doing? Good? Good, teacher? Yeah. Good. Right on. Yeah, we always want to try to keep a real good positive vibe, positive energy. And Like last time I said this too. I'll now that I have a little piece of paper here. Um, oh, I don't like using all these up here. I'll take it for firewood later. But this part right here, your nasu. This is funny how they call it a nasu because su in our language is seed, right? Su. So whenever you say something to a child like that, it's like you're planting seeds in their head, right? Everything you say is like, oh, you're stupid. That's a seed. Later on, he's going to grow up and he'll say, I'm stupid, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. Why? Because somebody planted that seed in your brain to make you think that way. This is why a lot of people, they say, your opinions should come from creator, not from people of who you are. And so right here is where your eyeball is, like that. Up here, they call it the prefrontal cortex. So if I was to say dog in Dakota right now, hurry, like that, it's going to shut down his thinking parts of the brain. He will not be able to learn a language whatsoever. So this is why you'll notice I always try to come off with friendly, positive, because the moment I'm going to say, okay, get up here, you tell me 6 words in Dakota, you're just scared. Even if you did know those words, your brain shuts off. And this is why those kids that are out there, you're in school and you're saying, I'm not very smart, I'm terrible at school. Are you scared at school? Because if you're scared at school, chances are you're not, you're smart, but your fear is shutting off your brain. Fear shuts off the brain. We have to really understand that. In a family, Dakota family, no more fear. What's the opposite of fear? Love, compassion, waoshida, waoki, all of our teachings to help one another, take care of one another. So what happens when that happens? This part, they call it the old part of the brain. This is where the warrior kicks in, your fight or flight. I'm going to run away from here. I'm going to fight you for how you're talking to me. That's what happens in most language classes when you're afraid. So this is why let's get rid of fear. Let's get rid of fear. And that's the whole goal, what we're trying to do here, get rid of fear. Even if that means me doing most of the talking in the beginning of the classes until later on we'll all get more involved. But that's the main thing. And so those of you that are at home might be saying, hey, I'm too scared to go over there. So-and-so might be looking at me all funny, or something. However you might be thinking, try not to get that because we're trying to get used to each other. That's a big part of a community trying to heal is we have to get used to each other and know that we're not here to hurt each other. We're not here to call you down or, gee, I thought you knew your language. You should have knew, like that. We're not here to say any of that. Like, you're supposed to know this or that. And so the two spirits that we try to remove in a language classroom is the spirit of shame and the spirit of guilt. Those two. Because if we have those here, there's no point. We're eventually those people won't come. So we want nothing but love in here. And so I guess what we could say is our rule for learning a language is woashte. That's what we want here. Woashte. So it's all goodness. That's why the brother here, every time we come in, he'll light sage. You notice you come in here, it smells like sage. That's so we could get everybody feeling good and create that goodness, that woashte, that feeling you get when a baby's born. Woashte. Oh my goodness, so happy, That feeling you got when you graduated or you see all your family getting along. Woashte. Woashte, all that goodness stuff. Goodness. And so that's the kind of energy that we want here. That's what's going to heal Sioux Valley. Woashte. Woashte. And there's some families you'll notice you're stuck in Woshicha. It's kind of look like a curse, feels like you're stuck in the dark. It feels like you're cursed and like bad things keep happening, bad luck all the time. They say just keep creating goodness for others. It'll come around. That's all you need to do. This is the word you can use for curse and blessed. Cursed and blessed, right? Woashte, woshicha, woshicha. There are certain families that have woashte in their families. And that's some lady or some man in there. They woke up that morning and they said, "Who can I bless today? I'm going to bless my kids. I'm going to bless my takoja. I'm going to bless somebody. I'm going to put on a feast. I'm going to feed a kushi. I'm going to." They did something real wonderful for somebody. Woashte. You can create that every day. Or woshicha. Oh, just bring up yesterday. Bring up that pain. Bring up negative stuff. Talk about so and so gossip. Bring up all that stuff. It woshicha. Woshicha. So these are two energies, and hopefully we could follow this one. Woashte as we're going along. The more we follow this, the more and more people will come. The more and more people come. They'll feel it. They'll feel it when they come here. Yeah, not somebody grouchy getting mad at us or anything, or none of that stuff. Yeah. And so we don't scold, but we teach. We don't scold, we teach. And so that's another thing in here too. So important. So anyway, everybody looking tired now. Oh, and somebody said, explain the word chosh. That's okay. That's all right. Okay. Ekshi. All right. Thank you guys. Pidama, pido. Everybody take care. Yep.